Hello and welcome to Alula's webinar, Camera and Video. Opportunity is knocking, answer with the video doorbell. Thank you for joining us. Today we will cover several key topics. First we'll do some introductions, then we'll discuss the benefits of video. We'll look at Alula's Video Advantage. We'll talk about the integrated interface for Alula's video. Then we'll go through some of our available cameras. We'll discuss the product roadmap, and then we'll save time for some Q&A at the end. Let's meet today's presenter. Cory Plndr is the Director of Product Management for Alula. He has more than 20 years as a software engineer. He's worked at Digi International and Bosch Software. He's a solutions architect for Internet of Things connected devices. He has an electrical engineering degree from University of Minnesota and has been issued one patent. He joined Alula in February 2018, and he is our expert on camera and video solutions. Cory, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you, Kevin.
Cory, if you could, why don't you tell us a little bit about Alula as a company?
Perfect. Alula is the result of a merger between IP Datatel and Resolution Products that happened in the middle end of 2017. Many of you in the security industry will know IP Datatel and Resolution Products. IP Datatel is predominantly for their excellent IP network connectivity to panels and communicators of those panels, really supporting those takeovers and then supporting systems that are deployed in the field in the past. And Resolution Products for similar functionality with their IGMs as well as their excellent wireless and sensor products that they've had around since the late 2007, 8, 9 timeframe. The two companies came together. There was very little overlap and lots of good synergies between the two, really delivering an end-to-end solution today with the network and IP connectivity of IP Datatel and the excellent hardware product solutions from Resolution Products, delivering an integrated IoT platform for security. That platform delivers us security, automation, and video all in one umbrella, supporting as I've already said, delivering takeover solutions, delivering core product delivery with our Connect Plus and Back Connect, as well as extending that service offering of our partner dealers to integrated automation, integrated video, really being an end-to-end solution for the customer.
That's right. As you mentioned, we've got that vertically integrated structure that includes both security, automation, and video. Today we're here to talk about the video portion of that. So Cory, why don't you walk us through what makes Alula's video different from some of the other video on the market?
Thanks, Kevin. As you've mentioned, I'm a product manager here at Alula, and Alula's video solution is actually one of my babies to take care of. The goal of all of our solutions, of course, is to really help our dealer partners deliver a stronger presence to their customers. And we have a few key tenets that we take along as Alulans to do that. The goal is to be very simple to install, minimize the time on site, and minimize the number of service calls that the dealer customer or the dealer partner might have to take, and be very easy to do that install, as well as to deliver a solution that the end customer wants and needs in a way that keeps that dealer partner relevant in the experience. And to do that, we really wanted to have our video fit seamlessly with the security and automation functions of our solution. So each of these functionalities are delivered as if they belong together, and they're grouped very logically with no pop-outs that pop out to another app, pop out to a video app, pop out to an automation app. We wanted to avoid that. So we'll talk a little bit about that integration of the app experience in other slides. We wanted to bring video to deliver another RMR opportunity, a recurring monthly revenue opportunity for our dealer partners. And what's exciting about our solution is that it's available both to security customers as well as our existing past customers. It's even available in a standalone functionality as well. So it can cover a broad range of customer types and customer interest. Bringing this video solution really does help our dealer partners reduce their attrition levels. Having a functionality that the end customer wants to look at, is looking at on a daily or hourly basis, really keeps that that app experience right in front of that customer's face, and presenting it in the way that we do with security in that context also helps keep security in that relevance of the end customer. Our video solution was built from its onset to be multiple site capable. We had a lot of customers that either had a business, maybe they had a second home, maybe a cabin, something like that. And we wanted to make sure that the video content was able to be delivered in a upfront and personal way. We do bring that by providing video directly to the dashboard and letting the customer put eyes on things that matter most to them. And as I've mentioned, a big tenet for our Alula services and solutions is to be simple to deploy and be very cost effective when deployed by our dealer partners.
That's right. Yeah, I've enrolled some of these cameras myself. It is as simple as taking a selfie on your camera. So if you can do that, you can enroll these cameras. We say that our video is designed for the future. So Cory, why don't you take us through a few of the ways in which it's built for the future?
Sure. We're very often asked to explain, what it is about our video services that make us different. And I'll highlight each of these items as differentiators, and they're really out there to help you, our dealer partner, to deliver an exceptional video service to your end customer. And we'll go through each of them in more detail on the following slides.
Okay. So this is one of my favorite parts. This is one of the things you alluded to earlier, that the video is well integrated into the security and the Internet of Things functionality. It's one app to rule them all. You're not having 3 or 4 different apps on your phone. That can get exhausting. Tell us how the app is integrated into the user experience.
Exactly. The app experience is unique in the first case because all aspects of our offering are very tightly integrated. We'll go through each of these items here briefly. Each user can customize their own mobile app by selecting the sensors, the cameras, and any automation devices on the account that will then appear on their own app landing page within their mobile device. And without leaving that dashboard, that user can then scroll up and down to see those devices that he or she felt mattered the most to him or her. And as an example, my kids always leave the garage door open, so I have a door sensor on that, a tilt sensor on my garage, as well as a camera in my garage. So when my kids leave that door open, I'm able to very quickly identify that and be able to go on there and take action by closing it with my automation function. The video controls are active directly from that dashboard. So you see in the image there, we have a still image of a living room setting. You can just tap that image, and that will open a live view into the camera. And you can, for stored video, you can tap the little clip icon there. It's highlighted in item 5, and that'll show you any clips that were captured in today. Today's clips are stored right there on that dashboard for you to very quickly access. And past clips, historical clips, are available to you by clicking the little calendar icon and selecting the date that you're interested in. A very intuitive interface pops up to allow you to scroll through those clips and see anything that was captured historically. We find that very useful to be able to filter to days and dates. A lot of the functionalities or other competitive products, you end up with just a never-ending scrolling list that makes it very hard to find those clips that matter most to you.
Yeah, it's almost like a time machine. You can just go back and see, who came to your front door 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Maybe you didn't realize at the time that was an important visitor. Now you can go back and check it out, and you realize that was, in fact, a meaningful clip to be accessible.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about those key advantages. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but this is our chance to really get into the nitty-gritty on it.
Exactly, and this is where we like to point these items out to our dealer partners to help them deliver the pitch and the sales pitch to their end customers about why purchasing video and video doorbell through a security dealer might make more sense than maybe one of the big boxes or the behemoths of IT that are out there and available in the market. Our video content in the Alula platform is stored both locally on a micro SD card in the camera or doorbell, but it's also backed up to US-based and Alula-managed cloud servers that we operate ourselves. This isn't going to one of the big boys and being, your video content isn't being analyzed by people that we wouldn't want to have access to it. Very important as privacy becomes more and more important and security becomes more and more important, we want to make sure that we understand that our video content is being kept as a security asset, and that is what Alula's business is in the first place. Additionally, the clip packages that can be assigned to these cameras are automatically managed with most recent clips available, and the oldest clips are pruned off in an automatic fashion. Some competitive products require the user account owner to actually manage that clip deletion process. We're managing it automatically for the end user. And the last thing is, again, this is kind of towards the simplicity aspect. Cameras can be enrolled directly through the Alula app. The customer account allocation for camera count, as well as the clip plans, are managed by the dealer partner. And then with that allocation, the app allows for the camera to be added, much like you said, Kevin, by scanning the little barcode on each camera and then enrolling the Wi-Fi, and they're off and running.
You mentioned that some providers stop uploading when service limits are reached. That just blew my mind when I heard that, just because suddenly the product you bought is no longer working in the present. It's not capturing the most recent events. I just think that's a really bad practice, and I'm really glad that ours is set up in a way that recent clips are always going to be retained.
Yeah, there's some really cool features we'll talk about at the end in our roadmap that kind of dovetail to what you're sharing there. And the ability to have the relevance of the clip be identified automatically and store those relevant clips is something we'll be talking about as a roadmap item here at the end of the presentation.
Yeah, there's some really exciting stuff coming down the pike. But first, let's talk about the present. Let's go into some more detail about what makes that video offering unique. Why don't you take us through?
Absolutely. Well, the app experience, as we've mentioned a couple times, is tailored to combine security, video, and that automation content into a very unified, integrated dashboard for each user to be able to customize. You see an example of that here in that middle swipe, where you've got the living room image, and then you see some security sensors below that. In experience, what you really get is those, you can group items together. You can see, for example, that the living room glass break and maybe the windows are secured, and then you're actually looking at that video image of the living room all in one place. And that's an extremely powerful thing as you group more and more, and as you have a more and more advanced system, to be able to quickly drill into the location in your house where you want to take a look at how things are and everything's being secure. The second highlighted item in here is that all cameras are assigned on the account. They're all accessible on the dashboard, which does enable that multi-site camera view from that single account. Quite often we'll see folks put a camera at their lake cabin. I talk a little bit later about the 360 camera that can rotate around and see both the lakeshore property as well as rotate to see into the home, and that's a great way to, at a glance, when you're doing your daily life, see maybe some other assets that are remotely located without leaving that app and without having to take a lot of time to accomplish that. We do have a broad line of cameras that are supportable by our system. Alula does stock 3 specific IP cameras as well as our video doorbell. Those cameras are from the EasyViz line from Hikvision, and we are qualifying more and more of those cameras as well that are available through the channel. And we will highlight our Alula line here on the next slide, Kevin.
Yeah, let's go right to it. Here is what Cory is talking about in terms of the cameras that are available in the video solution. Before I turn it over to you, Cory, I just want to point out this video doorbell is key. There's a lot of statistics out there in the market now that 1 in 4 broadband homes plan to upgrade to a video doorbell within the next year alone. So this is a very, very hot product. This is an important part of any security system and protecting your front door and having visibility into who's coming up to your front door. So that's just a hot seller. But go ahead and take us through all the different IP cameras and how you would use them.
You bet. Alula is offering 3 Wi-Fi cameras as well as the Wi-Fi video doorbell. All 4 operate on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi frequency. With our outdoor camera has the option for Ethernet as well. It can be wired in. And lastly, the video doorbell does support both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz network hotspots. The indoor mini product is a 720p resolution camera, and the 360 and the outdoor are both 1080p full HD cameras. And lastly, the doorbell is actually a 2K unit, which allows very high resolution and allows you to zoom in on segments of the video to really see what's going on. But all four really provide excellent video at their size and price point. You won't be disappointed about the video capture that's coming from any of these offers. Areas that we see the indoor mini most often used, we see it used in nurseries to monitor the baby room. In my case, I'm a little past the baby room phase of my life, but I do have an indoor mini in my workshop. The workshop has an external door, and I use it to really keep an eye out for any unexpected activity coming in and out of that door. Again, have some teenage kids that can leave doors unlocked, so sometimes I'm a little surprised by what's going on around the house. The indoor 360 product is extremely popular in very large indoor areas where the field of view of one of the other cameras might not capture the whole area, or where you have a situation where both an indoor and an outdoor scene can be viewed by using that rotation function of the camera. And as I mentioned, one of our executives has that 360 product at his lake property, and it's sitting out there in the bay window where he can rotate it around and see both the inside of the house, or he can spin it back around and take a view of the dock and the lake and make sure that his toys that are positioned on the lake shore are all in good shape. As Kevin mentioned, our video doorbell is key. We see a lot of uptake on this product, and it's an extremely strong performer. One of the unique features that I like a lot about it is that it's got a 180-degree field of vertical view. What's great about that is it can almost see directly below it. So at my house, where the Amazon packages come quite frequently, being able to see that it's there, being able to ensure that nobody can come snag it off the porch is really key for me, and capture that event if it does indeed happen. The fourth camera here is our Alula Outdoor. It's a fully weatherproof product, and it does have excellent night vision capabilities. We see most people using that to monitor their driveway, maybe the backyard area, if they have a pool or a hot tub, want to make sure nothing's going on with those areas, and perhaps for a liability reduction, you might want to see what's going on at your pool at all times. And we really see them used on approaches to the home or the property.
Yeah, and don't sleep on that indoor mini. That is a real workhorse camera. I've got a bunch of those around my house. It's got a magnetic base that's included, so you can hang it upside down and then flip the video in the app. It's just a great piece to be able to stick it in all kinds of different locations and have that full 360 view of your house right through the app. Now, if you look at the use cases, one of the key things to keep in mind is you can use video with any different kind of customer. It's not just for new installs. Cory, tell us how this is possible.
Yeah, Kevin, if there's really one message that I want the viewers to take away from this message today, it's this slide. Alula Video works great with our Alula Security, but it also works great alone. We have several customers that are deploying in that mode. If the sales pitch for security goes poorly, but the customer is interested in video, they are making that offer. It's an excellent solution, and we've tailored it that way to be an excellent solution in a video-only option. Alula is known for our takeover products. As I mentioned in the opening slide, our history really goes back to delivering strong communicators and products that help dealers reuse the security assets in a home. But takeover is old or new. Alula Video Services can be deployed to all of those partners. All of our communicators or any other customer, any other competitor communicator product could use our video alongside of it. So keep that in mind as you look at your installed base. It's an upsell opportunity for your existing customers to deliver Alula Video alongside those takeover products. With new installs, the full experience of Alula Video and Security is delivered when you deploy an Alula Connect or even our new Bat Connect product that's come out in the last weeks. Your end customer gets that full interactive app experience that I've highlighted on a few other slides, where I can see video, I can have single touch arming of the security panel, and both of those products do also bring automation as an upsell opportunity if you're deploying a Bat Connect or an Alula Connect product. And as Kevin mentioned, standalone option in the end, our video and app experience is really tailored to dial back to a camera-only interface when there is no security product deployed in the user's account.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, that idea of a camera as a standalone. I think there's some evidence out there that millennials may not be purchasing security systems, the full suite of them, as previous generations have. But this doorbell camera, which is extremely popular, can be a system seller. So you come out, you put the doorbell in, they think that's all they want, but next thing you know, they're using the app and they start realizing, hey, wouldn't I like some sensors on my windows? Wouldn't I like to add some automation so my lights come on when I get home? So it really gets your foot in the door, and it may start off as a standalone, but once people start using it and seeing the value and the functionality, suddenly they're adding to the system and they end up with the complete system in the end anyway.
Oh, you're spot on. And as the app is placed in front of them in the hand of that millennial, they're going to see how security can tie in with that video. So the video can be a little bit of a Trojan horse to put security in front of that customer over a longer period of time than just while the pitch is being made at the door or through the advertisements.
Yeah, Trojan horse. That's a great metaphor to describe it. Let's look at this. This is really exciting. The Alula Video Services Roadmap. You talked about this, alluded to it earlier. This is really cool. This is the stuff that's coming down the pike. This is an early look for those of you who are tuning into our webinar. You're not going to find this information elsewhere. It's a sneak peek. So Cory, why don't you let us in on this secret?
Well, really the first three slices here on this slide are related. We know that part of the challenge with any video solution is really fatigue with motion detected events. So we want very much to collect relevant video content, to be able to automatically identify what's going on in those clips, and to be able to tag them for filtration, either both in terms of how you look at it later when you're looking at that calendar view, or how you might want to be notified by it. So first of all, really getting to where we have the highest quality clips coming in the first place. So we don't want tree motion or sunlight indication to be causing motion clips to be captured. And we're working actively with the camera provider to put an agent on our cameras that has a higher level of discernment for what's going on in that clip and only sends up those clips that are relevant in the first place. Following that, and really dovetailing from that, would be this smart clip concept. And that's the ability to take a peek at what's going on in the clip. Once I bring back that relevant clip, okay, was it the Amazon guy dropping off a package on my step? Are there people in front of my doorbell or my outdoor camera? Or is my pet cruising around in an area of the home where I don't want him? And being able to discern those elements, what's in the image, and those are just three examples. We're really looking at a whole slew of filtering options, but those three are really relevant to the security context and being able to then show me people in the front of my home and only see those clips that matter in that sense. To do that, item 3 there, it really is necessary. I need to have that tagging functionality so I can drop a people tag or a pet tag on the video content. And the next step, of course, would be to drop a security sensor tag onto that event. So maybe I have the ability to drop a tag when I see that my front door contact has opened. Any video that's captured in a period of time around that might get that tag that says, hey, it was close to this security event that came off the platform. And we're looking at ways of doing that, local to the device as well. Once we have that enriched data, those enriched clips, we intend to bring notification capabilities in that vein, right? Because we want to be able to say on a per camera basis or on a per content basis, those tags that I just mentioned, when do I care? When do I want to have a push pushed out to my mobile app so that I get informed that, hey, somebody was walking around in your workshop, Cory. It's not you. You better take a look at what's going on there. And I think getting that getting that notification and that clip tagging right really does help people make it more relevant and more usable. They'll look at that app because it's only delivering those pushes on when it really matters to them. One of the things that's coming along nicely is that we recently deployed our Alula Connect management portal for our dealer partners, and we are intending very shortly to bring both a user version of that, the end user portal, as well as delivering this video content through that end user portal. That's coming along very well, and we encourage all of our dealer partners to take a peek at Alula Connect as well for managing their panel products here in the very near future.
Yeah, this slide I think is really exciting. This really shows you what the future of security looks like. I love the idea of these smart clips. When you're waiting for a package to show up from Amazon, there's nothing more discouraging than getting an alert and looking and then finding out it was just some guy trying to hand out some literature for a political campaign and that your package has not arrived after all. So the idea of being able to get specific notifications for packages so you know when they're there, the idea of looking back through your calendar and being able to see every time a particular package has been delivered or a person has shown up at the door. There's a lot of things. You can let your imagine run wild with this of what the next couple of years are going to look like for the security industry once you start bringing in smart video, facial recognition, and really tightly integrating that with the user interface, with the security system, with the Internet of Things and home automation. It really does bring it all together, and it's an exciting time that we're living in the security industry.
Absolutely it is.
Cory, thank you so much for joining us, for walking us through all those steps. We've got a lot of questions out there. Do you have a few minutes to stick around and answer some of the questions from our customers?
I'd welcome it.
Wonderful. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, thanks everybody for joining us on this conference call. We got some great questions, and we're going to be hitting them right now. Feel free to keep hitting us with questions in that chat box, and we'll tackle all of them. First one, though, Phil. He's been at some of our previous webinars. This question, we were waiting for the perfect answer, the perfect expert. That's Cory. Cory, finally to give Phil his answer. Any plans for a wireless video doorbell?
Thanks for the question, Phil. Is one that we do receive quite often. And by wireless, I'm sure that you mean a battery-operated device that can be placed, throughout the home. Maybe a wireless camera, maybe a wireless doorbell. And we have been evaluating multiple options in that regard. One of the challenges we've had is we haven't found one that we would consider to be, professional security dealer grade. And some of the challenges that we've seen really revolve around battery life, maintainability, the goal being, of course, to prevent and avoid any customer callback of the professional security dealer. And frankly, the use of that camera is really critical. If you're installing it maybe on a back door where there's very little traffic, you can get the stated life out of the battery then of multiple months before we need to recharge. But in practice, we see those cameras going in a lot more active areas and therefore having much shorter battery life and producing calls and dissatisfaction. So until we find that perfect wireless camera, the battery-operated camera, we're going to hold off on that product as delivered through a professional security program right now. We'll still continue.
There you
to
go,
look
Phil. That's
for
your answer. We are going to continue to look for that. Stay tuned for more. And thank you for attending our webinars and being a fan of Alula. So moving on to the next question, we've got Robert. He says, do I have to pair your video with your communicators?
That's a great question. I hope I touched on it a couple times in the webinar, but the short answer is they go alongside any of our products. And in fact, if there isn't a panel product or a communicator product in play, the camera and video solution can stand on its own. What I will say around working in conjunction with panel solutions is that some of our features and some of our forward-looking roadmap features tie security more and more tightly to the video solution. So while you certainly can install it standalone, we're excited about having those security events helping to make the security sale more relevant in the hand of those end users. But again, don't be afraid of deploying that. The camera solution installs on the user account, whether that user account has a communicator, has a Connect Plus, has a Bat Connect. There's no immediate linkage between those communicator products and the camera products. They work alongside one another quite well.
Great. Now moving on to the next question from Nikki. She asks, how long are the clips?
That's a great question, one we also get quite often. So the way that the cameras detect motion is that when it sees a significant change in the video image, it grabs the prior 10 seconds to that change, and it will record 30 seconds past the cessation of motion. So the shortest clip you would normally expect to see is about 40 seconds. If motion continues in the area, in the video image, we will receive a push notification once per 60 seconds. It's a very easy way that you can know that there's a lot of activity going on in front of your camera. If you continue to get motion detected events every 60 seconds, it means it's ongoing. And we do then pull back those clips in 60-second intervals. We have seen instances if the Wi-Fi at the site is a little bit poorer than we would normally like, that we get a shorter clip. And the problem there is actually retrieving the video, not the fact that the video has been collected. But 40 seconds is the shortest clip you'll see, and 60 seconds back to back is the longer clips.
Great. Now Justin has a question. Do you sell these in big box stores like Ring and Nest?
No, we don't. We provide and sell products and services to the professional security dealer, aiming to support their efforts and support them in their RMR goals every month.
Yeah, that's a big difference between us and some of these other brands out there. Is we are partner first and always. We do not go to the end consumer. We don't go around you and try to sell to your customers. We're here to enable your business growth, and that's by providing this great technology like the doorbell camera that lets you compete in the marketplace. Next question comes in from Rick. He is asking, how do I pitch the idea of switching from Ring to Alula to customers?
That's an excellent question. It's one also that we do receive quite often. What's the differentiator there? How do I sell against that? One of the things that we do point out, from a dealer perspective, it's that RMR opportunity for you versus the potential of giving customer contact and customer front and center in front of the customer away to Google or Nest, for example. Amazon or Nest. It really giving out that access to your customers is something that you want to be thinking of as a dealer. But when you're in front of the customer and they're asking about the product, one of the things that we talk about is, okay, they're data companies. I mean, I think everybody's very well aware that, the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Googles, they make their money by having access to you and to your data. So that's something to definitely be aware of. So we do point that out. The other piece of it is, as I've touched on a few times throughout the conversation, is security-related context that you may or may not be able to get through those companies. An example of something that's coming down the pike, as you might imagine, is a video verification, which would allow the central station monitoring agent to really access those videos if and when there is an alarm event on your panel product.
Okay, next question comes to us from Steve. He asks, what happens if they don't have clips? Will it save anything? I guess they're talking about the customer there.
Yeah, certainly. If there's a clipless program on your account, you would have access to live video, of course, and in that case, the ability to save is related to there is a storage function through your mobile device, so you can record what's happening while you're watching it to your mobile device directly, and that would be the clip that you could create. We are investigating, as I mentioned about the smart tagging and the ability to identify events on the site. We're toying with the idea of supporting them kind of after the fact with content that may have been captured during an event, during a security event specifically. We are a security company first, of course.
All righty there. William has a question. Can you download from the SD card to a computer?
It is a possibility, yes, to take the SD card from the camera and pull the content from the SD card directly. Typically, the way we're seeing users do that, though, is through the app. They will click the download content and pull it directly to the camera roll on their smart device. So yes, it is a possibility to get the clip if for some reason the cloud did not retrieve it.
Great. Just bouncing around here. Sean has a question. Does the outdoor bullet have two-way voice?
It does. It has a quite surprisingly exceptional microphone as well as a very nice speaker on it, and you can speak through the mobile app to the whatever the area is that the camera is located in.
Okay, William had a follow-up question. William, I hope I don't butcher this. I hope I understand it correctly. I think he is asking, can you enlarge recorded video in the app? I think he's asking if you can zoom in on the video.
Yes, absolutely. In the mobile device, you can use pinch controls to zoom, pan in on areas of the image. You can also do that on the clips and live view.
Great. We've got a question from John. What exactly is Alula Connect, and how is it different than Alarm Dealer? You touched on this, Cory, in one of the slides. This would probably be a good chance to go into a little more depth on Alula Connect.
Certainly. Yeah, Alula Connect is our revamp of our Alula Alarm Dealer portal. So many of you that have been Alula customers for a long time know Alarm Dealer well. We're bringing that forward. One of the main goals of the Alula Connect rebrand is to really bring that product into the same integrated app experience consistent with our touchpad, with our mobile apps, and now our dealer management portal will have a similar look and feel, kind of refreshing it and bringing it forward. Some of the features there include a mobile-friendly presentation, so it very nicely reformats itself to the dimensions of your mobile device. So your installing technicians can use that app directly while they're in the field if they choose to. It is a visual representation of the same platform data that you would have access to through Alarm Dealer. So look forward to the evolution of that. Today it's available for our dealer users for managing their accounts and their devices. As I mentioned in the webinar, we will very soon be opening it up for end users to use as well.
And William has another excellent question. Will the extended service work with cameras we install now when it is available? So I think he's talking about remote firmware updates.
Yes, I mean our camera products, similar to our panel products, do allow for remote firmware updates. Those functionalities happen on behalf of the user automatically and through their ability in the app to select for a firmware update. Deploying cameras ahead of or in conjunction of our BAT product line is also very well supported. So, for example, if I, as Cory Plndr, have an account and I start with cameras, and then I get excited because maybe there's some indication through the app that I should have security, and I call the dealer partner back, and I say let's have some of this security stuff. That will neatly fold into that extended service, if I can interpret your meaning there, would fold very nicely into their app as it's added to their customer account on the Alula Connect or Alarm Dealer platforms.
Great. We've got a question from Andrew. He says, I have been installing the cameras for months. Thank you, Andrew. We're happy you're using the product. He is asking for some clarification on reporting from cloud to customers. So that's the alerts that the customer gets and the speed of that. Are there any updates on that service?
Thank you for that question, Andrew. I do like a little bit of the confession opportunity there as well. So for me as the product manager for the video services, it's been a very frustrating thing, this collection of clips. What we've seen is that if the clip content is brief and you have a very good Wi-Fi connection to that video camera or the doorbell camera, then we bring back the clip in a fairly quick time frame. What we've also seen is if there's a lot of motion at the camera, or if the Wi-Fi is, maybe the fact that it's outside of the home and on the front of the house makes the Wi-Fi a little bit less than what's experienced when you're in the home. That certainly would be the case. But we sometimes get abbreviated clips, or we also can take multiple retries to collect that clip. And I know that if you've installed the camera, you've seen both of those situations. I mentioned in one of the slides here in our presentation that we're actively working with our camera provider to build that agent, and that agent will be delivering the clip content in a different way to our servers, and that will definitely improve our clip collection capabilities. We are looking to get that in the 1 or 2 minutes. Obviously, if it's a clip captured locally to SD card, it takes the duration of the motion to bring it onto the card, and then we retrieve it after that. What you're experiencing, implied by your question, is that maybe we have to retry. And quite often, in order to be most successful, we have a several-minute delay before we do execute on that retry. I think if customers are looking at the app in live view, they are sometimes okay with that, but it can be frustrating when you're getting motion events and the clips take a little while to pull back. Keep pinging me on that, Andrew, and we'll get back. We will see the improvement here in the coming months.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks for that question. And we are always looking to help our customers. You can always call 1-888-88-ALULA, and we will make sure that we connect you with our customer success team and get you everything you need to succeed out in that field. We were talking earlier about data protection. It's a hot button issue with Google, Amazon in the news. I'm sure you guys have seen there's going to be some congressional hearings, I guess, on big tech data collection. So William offers up a very timely question for us, which is the video encrypted? Cory?
It is. Whenever the video is transmitted through the Wi-Fi and to our platform, it is encrypted. We're also using IT practices, best practices for IT in terms of using SSL and HTTPS, two technologies that further encrypt the actual data traffic back and forth to our platform. What you do have the option through the apps to deselect the encryption option, but by default, our platform turns that on really without asking when you provision a camera, and there shouldn't be any reason that you would need to turn that off. Security is our primary focus here at Alula.
That's right. Encryption is the default, and protecting your data is extremely important. You don't want your security system to make you less secure or open up a channel into your home. And so the security of security is something that's very dear to our hearts here at Alula. And we would encourage you to only go with providers that take privacy and encryption seriously. Mona has a question. The cameras include a 16G SD card. Does the camera support any other size card? Are you able to go above 16G?
Yeah, Kevin, it's a 16 gigabyte SD card that comes from our factory. The cameras themselves do support up to 128 gigabyte micro SD cards. If you do choose to add a larger card, we definitely recommend that you purchase an industrial grade card, or one that's made for video, because the lifespan of those cards is significantly larger than the budget models you might find at Best Buy or wherever. In general, we don't feel like expanding that SD card is necessary unless you want a larger backup to the local Wi-Fi connectivity. Perhaps you have poorer connectivity out to the world, and you're concerned that all the clips won't get brought back up to the cloud. What we're doing in the Alula cloud is actually watching for that same motion event that triggers the push notification to your phone, and then we're going out to the camera and retrieving that clip so that it can be available for any other service that we might deliver now and in the future. So when you are looking at historical clips that are captured through the mobile app, that's actually being delivered from the Alula cloud rather than directly from the camera. So again, we're collecting it in very short period of time after it's been captured to that SD card. I guess for that reason, I would say 16 gigabytes is almost always more than enough to manage the data that's coming out of the camera.
All right, and a follow-up to an earlier question. So to be clear, unless you are watching live without clips, you would need clips in order to look back and save.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, the clips really are collected motion events that have been stored to the SD card, and that service of having historical video is what the clips represent.
Great. William has another great question following up on our privacy discussion. William asks, do you share data with third parties?
That's a great question. I think I should have thrown that out when I was asked how to pitch Alula versus one of the big boys. Absolutely not. I mean, Alula Security is a security company. Part of our differentiation is that we're not primarily a data company. We're not about knowing everything about you. We're about keeping you and your properties secure and safe. We do not share any of our video content or data with third parties.
Yeah, that's a really timely question. I think you all saw that Facebook recently got a fine for their third-party practices. We all remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal where people were going on and taking a personality quiz on Facebook, and they didn't realize that they were being profiled, and that information was being used for a number of sometimes nefarious purposes. So not sharing data with third parties, not using your data against you, that is so key, and that's why we're proud at Alula that we encrypt the data and we keep that data private. We do not share it with any third party. So that's coming up on the end of our Q&A. I don't see any more questions, so I think we've tackled them all. If we missed any, please call us 1-888-88-ALULA or visit us at alula.net. You'll find a lot of great information there. We look forward to answering all your questions, and please stay tuned for future webinars. Cory, thanks for joining us. It has been very illuminating, and these are some exciting times.
My pleasure.